To all Duel Lists, upcoming updates now available in Duel Links, meaning our first real look at what's going to happen post 7th World in Duel Links, right? Are we getting a speed month, then a rush month? Are we getting events side by side? Are we getting split boxes? Well, I mean, we are, but we're getting like one rush, one speed. What is going to happen? Hopefully we'll find out. Also, we have got some skills to go through, so I'll go through them at the end of the video, right? Because I'm kind of late to that. But here we go. First of all, is going to be IMIMI's Unlock. We know that, right? We leaked it. And this coming on potentially the 4th of October. So not too long to wait to get new cards in Duel Links, right? Then we've got Yugo coming to the game, which is good for new players, right? Speedroids are still a very good deck, especially with the ban list, right, going into effect. That's been reverting some of the changes they made to the deck, so that's pretty cool. And the weird thing is we have IMIMI's boss in Duel Links already, right? It's in the brand new box as an ultra rare, which always felt weird when you thought, could she be a secret character? Could she be the normal mid-October unlock? But no, she's coming very quickly after the new world, which is really cool. But it does mean we now have 5 7s characters and 5 Reigns characters. So in literally 1 week, we've had more characters in 7's world than a whole year for Reigns, which is it's a bit weird, right? But these characters only go to level 20, so are the 7's world characters actually really better? No, not really. But also, we do know what she's bringing, right? We've got some skills, we've got some cards for our gate drops, we've got cards for our level ups as well, so it does appear at least that IMIMI will be going back to the way we used to do all characters, right? In having unique gate drops, and then the cards and level ups will be unique, and it does kind of make sense, right? For the event to have something to do before the actual unlock happens. If there was gate drops in the level ups, right, after the event happened, then that wouldn't be a great look for Duel Links, honestly. Then we've got the Tag Duel Tournament. We expected, right, we had skill leaks, getting the new UR card Caius the Mega Monarch, and the SR card Harpie Lady, but for Rush Duel. And Duel Links Mission Research. Now, this one will be big for new players, right? This one is always a very good event. No confirmed cards, but it is weird that we have got this in the game already. The Rush Duel Harpie Lady, right, confirms the card, but not the Mega Monarch. So of course, Harpie Lady is a decently standard defense wing beast level 4. It's nothing really to write home about. Then we've got Caius the Mega Monarch, which is a really cool boss monster, of course. It's interesting because we just got a bundle deal, right, for the Stormforth spell, and we got some Monarch reprints in the selection box. So does this mean potentially in the next main box we see more Monarch support cards? We could do. You can tribute this card by tributing 1 tribute some monster, so a level 6 Monarch will work just fine. If it's tribute summoned, target card on the field, then banish, and if you do, damage your opponent for 500, which is not the best, right? The removal is the kind of key thing. Then, if it was a dark monster, banish all cards of it with the same name from the hand, deck, extra, and graveyard of the player that controlled it. That's kind of huge, right? Because if you go to Duel Links, right, and you search by a dark attribute, and you think, what's popular? Well, you've of course got your tenure cards, which is fine, right? Like Vishuda, banishing Vishudas won't be that great actually, but things like your Destiny heroes, they could be pretty big targets, right? Odd Eyes as well, could be a big target. You've got Rockets, also another good target. However, if you tribute this card by tributing a Dark, you can target 2 cards instead. If you go through the Caius the Dark Monarch or the SR1, right, that sits on his throne, then you can just remove 2 cards from the game entirely, or potentially, depending on what they are, 6. That could be pretty huge. Now, do I think this will see play? Not really, but I think there's a good chance in Monarch at least you'd run one of it. So, in terms of an event reward card, it's actually not that bad, right? Given what we kind of expect for Duel Links right now for Speed Duel, it's not that bad. The Harpie Lady is a bit weird, but we'll see. We'll see. Then we've got, late October, another Legendary Duelist. Okay, that is pretty cool. From hacking to dueling, there's nothing I can't do. That will 100% be Ghost Girl, Emma Besso, and that kind of makes sense, right, with Monarchs, because if you go and look at Altergeist, I believe they're all... Oh no, I thought they were Fiends, they're spellcasters, but they're... Okay, that doesn't make much sense then. I am completely off base, but this is a very cool control deck, right? It revolves around trap cards, and it does give some hint as to what they're doing with Duel Links, right? Because we're expecting a main box with this, right? I don't think they'll go for a mini box, right? They won't do a Rush Duel main box and Speed Duel mini box. It'll be main, mini, and then so on and so forth. However, we have got a KC Cup coming in early November. Unless things have changed, they could have done. So, does this mean that we might be changing the schedule up just a little bit, right? Because usually, we get our KC Cup main box in early November, right? The first week of November, and then the KC Cup happens a few days afterwards. But this event is happening in October, right? If we try to work it out, we've got IMIMI on the 4th, that's the 14th, 10 days for the event. We've then got Tag Duel Tournament, could be 10 or 7, that's 21st or 24th, and then Emma on the 24th, going until the beginning of, I guess, if Casey Cups have moved up until like the 1st or 2nd of November, right, then that makes sense. If we have a look at the date real quick, for November, the 1st is a Wednesday, so unless the Casey Cup starts in October on the 30th, that'd be really weird, but I guess that could be cool. Maybe not, no, probably not, it'll probably be next week, right? So that's really interesting in how that's going to affect the box schedule, but if that's the plan going forward, right, and that every month we get a Rush Duel character, we get a speed one, then I think that's cool. You know, I think that will kind of quell some people's fears as to Rush Duel taking up so much content if we're also getting the same speed of content we're getting every single month. And really, the characters are the big main content. But also what happens in a month where speed was a focus, right? If we don't get a Rush Duel character, then what is in the month to really appease Rush Duel players, right? Is that where we get the Rush Duel box, right? Do we get a sideline speed Duel character alongside a Rush Duel mini box? That could work, right? A main box comes out, you get a Rush Duel character. A mini box comes out, you get a sideline character for speed Duel. That could work out. Actually thinking about it, okay, that could kind of work. Then we'll talk about the skills real quick, because I think people were kind of hoping again for Odd Eye's skill to be hit, despite the deck already, I think, potentially being dead in tournaments. We don't have a done on that yet because it's been like 2 days of ranked, but these skill changes are good. Overall, I am very happy. We've got Phantom Knights now back at full power, 100% right, reverting the skill changes is really cool. The Mechlord skill as well, really, they don't need to lock to Mechlord cards, right? I think they can remove that restriction, and I think that'll be what happens next. But again, cool that you can now play at full power again. The timing on this skill change was really weird, right? I think the skill change happened like a week after we got the boss in the selection box, or maybe the other way around, right? So it felt really weird. Then we've got Order of Chaos, which hasn't really changed at all, aside from one line of text, which I think now means that you can do stuff beforehand and then play the skill, and then afterwards you're now locked, which I guess gives you more room to play automats rather than just playing rank 4 turbo spam, so I guess that's cool. And then 3 effects. This one was needed, and this one does now mean that if you're playing Tenyi, you're not getting 3k off your vanilla. You're now getting 1800, which is more manageable for the other player. It's not so much of an advantage, and now does mean that if you're playing Trickstar, you are now going into the Blue Angel skill, right, rather than playing 3 effects, because some people do still play 3 effects, but now you're definitely going for that Blue Angel skill. So overall, a very nice little update for Duel Links. You know, we got some card trader changes, right? We've got some new events coming. It's not the most, unique month, right? Because I imagine that these are going to be both like gate events, right? It does sound that way. So I'm looking forward to what happens next, right? I kind of think the next one we have is going to be Roa in December for a Rush Duel box, right? And so maybe that means we go for a mini box then, but that would kind of not imply, that would not work with the whole on-off kind of pattern, right? So who knows, right? Who knows what happens? But yeah, looking pretty good. You know, I think people going to this one really, really worried, right? What was going to happen? Would the month focus on Rush Duel? And apparently it's not. Now, we don't know what's happening in Casey Cup, and that's the big thing, right? Because Casey Cup is an event where we play Speed Duel for 2 weeks. Are we getting a Rush Cup at the same time? Or are they doing something different, right? We don't know. And I guess we've got to wait until mid-October to find out. But overall, very cool. Very happy. But I'm not super excited for Autogeist and Duel Links, and so that main box has to kind of really prove its worth in other ways for me to go into it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video, which will probably be a King of Games video because I just hit King Games in Rush Duel, and the deck I used was, it was very spicy. So I'll see you all in that video. See you then.